Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 28. Today we're going to be doing some word problems using division. We just chose two of the more difficult, more challenging problems from the problem set to work through. So my first problem here says gymnasium is building a deck. He cuts 12 pieces of wood from a board that has a total length of 128 inches. 5 pieces measure 15 and 75 inches each, and 7 pieces are cut from what's left. Now we do have some waste from cutting the boards. Every time that saw blade goes through it, it cuts off a little bit of wood, and he figures that he's going to lose a total of 2 inches of wood after making all the cuts. And we want to know what the length of each of the 7 pieces will be. So I'm going to go to a bar model here, as we so often do. And I could do this as one big long bar model, or I could do it as a comparison model, which I think I'm going to do because I just think that it'll make things seem a little simpler. So my 5 pieces that I have, each piece is going to be 15 and 75 and then I'm going to do 7 pieces, and I don't know how long those are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what I'm trying to find out. And then I have my waist, which is going to be 2 inches. And the whole thing all together is going to be 128 inches. So I can see that in order to find out what each of these pieces are, I need to take my whole length, subtract out the waist, subtract out the known boards that I have, and whatever's left needs to be divided into 7 equal parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 128, and I'm going to subtract 2 from that, and then I'm going to subtract from that 15 and 75 times 5. And then I'm going to take that whole mess and divide it by 7. So I'm taking away this, then I'm taking away this, and the leftover piece will be divided into 7 equal parts. So for my first bit of the problem, I'm going to take 128 minus 2 is 126. I can do that mentally. And then I'm going to figure what 15 and 75 times 5 is, and I get 78 and 75 so I'm going to take my 126 and I'm going to subtract out 78, 75 making sure I line up my places. And I'm left with 47 and 25 inches of wood after I take away the 2 inches and the 5 groups of 15 and 75 away. So now what I have to do is take my 47 and 25 divide it into 7 equal pieces. 7 does not go into 4, it goes into 47. Well, 7 groups would be 49, that's too much, so it's got to be 6. Bring down my 2 decimal point. Goes into that 7 times, 49. Left with 3. Bring down my 5. Goes into that 5 times is 35. I'm left with nothing when I subtract. And so my answer is each piece of wood is going to be 6 and 75 hundredths. I can go ahead and write my sentence. Each of the 7 pieces measures 6 and 75 inches in length. For my next problem, we definitely want to use a bar model. I have a load of bricks is twice as heavy as a load of sticks. The total weight of 4 loads of bricks and 4 loads of sticks is 771 kilograms. What is the total weight of 1 load of bricks and 3 loads of sticks? So that's a whole lot of things going on there. So I'm going to start with my basic. I know that I'm going to put a B for brick, and I know that it's twice as heavy as sticks. And I know that I have 4, if I have 4 of each, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, I know that the total weight is 771 kilograms. Looking at my picture, I can see here that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equal parts here. I have 12 equal parts. So I can find out what one of these parts is by dividing 771 by 12. Well, let's go ahead and do that. 12 does not go into 7. It goes into 77 6 times, which gives me 72. Bring down the 1. It goes into 51 4 times, which is 48. If I subtract, I get 3. I'm going to put a decimal point there. I'm going to bring down a 0. It goes into 30 twice, which is 24. Subtract another 0, and 5 gives me 60, with nothing left over. So each of those pieces then we learn is equal to 64 25/100ths. So now I got to figure out their answer, because now they're asking me, they're saying total weight of 1 load of bricks. Well, I'm just going to kind of draw a line here. I'm going to have 1 load of bricks and 3 loads of sticks, like that. And I want to know what that weight is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of what I found here. Each one was 64 25/100ths. So I need to say 64 25/100ths times 5. And when I do that multiplication, I get 321 25/100ths kilograms. So I just need to write a sentence. The weight of 1 load of bricks and 4 loads of sticks is 321 25/100ths kilograms. And that's all there is for today's lesson.